Welcome back to Askewed Reviews. And this entire week I'm doing Father's Day films. And today it's the 1993 movie Grumpy Old Men. Here is your trivia question for today. What is the name of Max's prized fishing rod? The answer will be at the end of this episode. So in this film we head to snowy Minnesota and meet our two main characters of John Gustafson and Max Goldman. These two have known each other ever since they were children, and they even used to be best friends. But apparently, a big argument occurred, and now they're frenemies. Now, even though the two of them are older men, they act like immature children and constantly play tricks on each other. For the most part, they live pretty average lives. They love to go ice fishing, get a drink at the local bar, hang out with their children and grandchildren, and of course, make each other miserable. Now, one day, a new neighbor moves into the neighborhood, and she just so happens to be a beautiful, youthful older woman that both John and Max seem to have the hots for. So, will either one of them manage to convince Ariel to go out on a date with them, or will their heated rivalry cause too many issues? This movie was directed by Donald Petrie. Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau are a great comedy duo that have been working together for years. In fact, this film is the sixth of 10 films that they've done together. Not including this movie and its sequel, the other films that they've been in together are Fortune Cookie, The Odd Couple, The Front Page, Buddy Buddy, JFK, The Grass Harp, Out to Sea, and The Odd Couple 2. Now, the original plan for this film was the roles of John and Max were supposed to be played by Jerry Lewis and Dean Martin, but unfortunately, due to Martin's health, that didn't end up happening. Burgess Meredith plays the character of Grandpa Gustafson, but that role almost went to George Burns or Bob Hope. In the film, Burgess Meredith is supposed to be playing a 94-year-old, but he was 85 at the time. What's funny about this is that Jack Lemmon was only 17 years younger than him, and Walter Matthau was only 12 years younger. In the film, Anne Margaret plays the character of Ariel, but that character was originally written with Sophia Loren in mind. And if you've seen the sequel, you know that they did end up bringing her into the series. Other recognizable actors and actresses that appear in this film are Daryl Hannah, Kevin Pollak, Ozzie Davis, Buck Henry, Christopher McDonald, and John Carroll Lynch. The movie takes place entirely in Minnesota, and it was also filmed there. Speaking of Minnesota, after the filming, due to the freezing temperatures, Walter Matthau was actually hospitalized with double pneumonia. On the ice shanty of Grandpa Gustafson, you can see his name J.W. Gustafson, but both in this film and in the sequel, they never reveal what the JW stands for. Also, the address on the door is for the real Slippery's bar. Later on in the film, Max and John do visit Slippery's. When Max changes John's TV channels, you can see three different Little Caesars commercials. I wonder who a sponsor for this film might have been. Whenever Max is on the prowl, he is humming the tune of The Barber of Seville. Also, when speaking about music, I have no idea where you'd be able to find this nowadays, but there is actually a Broadway musical of Grumpy Old Men. So when it comes to the film Grumpy Old Men, I really like this movie. It's one that I think works for just about any generation, just because pretty much anyone can find something about the movie that is funny. Now, also, the comedy duo of Lemmon and Matthau is also just fantastic anytime they're together. And lastly, I of course have to give this one a good review, as Jack Lemmon's character and myself share the last name of Gustafson. So I'm going to give this movie a 4 out of 5. And if you also like Grumpy Old Men, other movies I recommend checking out are Out to Sea, The Odd Couple, The War with Grandpa, and The Great Outdoors. Now it's time for the trivia question from the beginning of this episode. What is the name of Max's prized fishing rod? So even though it is absolutely in the shape and coloration of a duck, he has named it the Green Hornet. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Askewed Reviews, and if there's a movie you'd like to see get a review, just mention it in the comments.